Hey, we're back, and we were going to move on to Major Leagues, but real quick, talk a little bit about Gator baseball. First of all, Peter Alonso leaves Tim Tebow, who's been hitting 300 in June,
Yep.
4 home runs this month. I mean, he's hot, doing really, really well.
Good.
But Peter Alonso, obviously, now the Mets' #2 prospect, gets the promotion to AAA, second game there, 3 bombs. And I know the air's light in Las Vegas, but when do they let him play up in New York?
You got to bring him up if you bring him
Sooner than
AAA. I hate.
Sooner than
I
later.
was talking actually.
He's been there 2 weeks. He's absolutely
Yeah.
tearing it up.
Yeah, I was talking to Kirby Sneed's brother yesterday. He's in AA, and I'm like, you really want to be in AA, and you know why you want to be in AA, not AAA.
Well, there's a couple, and you're right with the prospects as opposed to the rehab guys and whatnot, and you probably face more future major leaguers as opposed to past major leaguers and guys that are just there to fill a roster spot if someone gets hurt, and that's usually a lot with AAA. But I remember in San Antonio is they would always say their pitching prospects, okay, they would have in San Antonio, and their hitting prospects, they would move Piazza up to Albuquerque as soon as possible. But what was happening was, and it wound up, if you remember all those guys, Greg Brock,
Sure.
and Mike Marshall,
yeah.
and all these guys
Sacks.
that come in, well, the home run hitters.
Oh, okay.
And the reason they hit 110 home runs in Albuquerque, okay,
Light air.
and he says, we'd have guys in AA in San Antonio, the big ballpark, wind always blowing in, the ball doesn't travel. They need to learn how to hit line drives. And then we move them to AAA, and what do they start doing?
Dipping, dropping rock,
And then they get to the big leagues, and what are they doing?
dropping rock. Got a hole about this big around right through
And
the
it's
top of the
not, and
swing.
it's not going out of the yard. And for years, that's what was happening to those. Now, in San Antonio, you have to make better pitches, and mentally, even you can get away with mistakes
Because it ain't going out of the yard.
because it's not going out of the yard. In Albuquerque, even sometimes you're pitching good,
You're still giving up.
and you're giving it up,
Yeah.
and mentally they just get destroyed. You know.
Well,
And-
the other thing is
and
there's
I
a
would
limited
think-
number of times you can come up and down from AAA, but AA
no.
doesn't
No,
have that, right?
it's just options. No,
Yeah.
you can move them down.
Yeah.
No, as long as you option them down. There's a number of options you can send a guy down.
Right.
period.
Was it like 5?
But 5. But and that's why I say being in Las Vegas really isn't going to help Peter Alonso.
You get
It
hidden.
can hurt
You
him.
get hidden in AAA. I think a lot of people they tuck you away, and you get stuck behind somebody, and you end up playing in AAA until you just get tired of playing baseball, and you pray for a break.
They need to move him up, and we'll see.
I think
I
so.
think it'll be this year.
I
think
think he
it'll
gets
be-
caught
yeah.
up in September to
Yeah,
get a look.
for sure.
He should might as well bring him up now. I mean, the Mets are out of it.
He's
they're
hot.
done.
He's hot as can be.
And see if he can
Fire
play.
sales
If he can
yeah.
play, he can play. If he can't play, you know pretty soon.
And then Michael Byrne goes in the 13th round, closer, 30, give or take a few saves. You know, greatest closer in Gator history and everything.
This doesn't say a
like that,
lot. I mean,
most
it's not
saves.
like
No, it's not a big thing, but not your prototypical blow 'em away closer. He's got 3+ pitches, fastball 89 to 91, 92. You know, but again, that's pitching 2 or 3 days every weekend.
Yep.
You know, and you come in and do that. The talk is if he comes back, he's
Starter.
one of the 3 starters next year on the weekend. What does he do?
I think you have to have a conversation with whoever the scout is that drafted you and say, what are they thinking about me?
Well, 13th round money, period. I don't care what my opinion.
Right.
It doesn't matter what you're thinking about it. If I can come back next year and go in the first 3 or 4 rounds,
Yeah,
I'm gonna. It's
Look at
it's
JJ
well
Schwartz.
worth
I mean, you know,
Schwartz made a lot of money.
A lot of money.
you make a lot of money, you get a chance to come back and be the Friday night starter. And I think he's earned that shot to be the Friday night starter if he wants to and come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
And I think Sully would let him.
Yeah.
I think you come
Sully will
back.
let him do whatever he wants.
I think so.
You know,
You come back and start.
and he's got a rubber arm.
Yeah, you come back and be the star. I mean, he's pitched 5 and 6 innings before in relief. So, you know, that number of pitches, 60, 70 pitches once a week, he's throwing that many in the weekend anyway.
Yeah.
I think you bring him back. If it were me, I would come back and give it a shot. I mean, what you got to lose? You're not going to go, unless you hurt your arm, you're not going to go less than the 13th round.
See, that's my thoughts as well.
But here's the thing, though. If the only caveat to that is he was drafted by Minnesota, right?
Correct.
So if the Minnesota front office, the Twins, said, "Look, this is our plan for you. We're going to send you straight to Double-A to be a starter."
And he was drafted as a starter. No one's drafted him
No,
to
that's
be a.
close.
So if they
close.
say we're going to send you to Double-A to be a starter, and our plan for you is in 2 years to be in the big leagues,
But you're not sending him to Double-A.
why not?
Alex Faedo started in Lakeland Flying Tigers of the Florida State League. If Alex Faedo,
I'm
number
just saying.
1, 13th pick overall, is starting in A-ball,
I'm just
you're
saying.
not taking your 13th rounder and sending him to Double-A.
I'm just saying that's the only way.
Now
that
he
would
might
make sense
be
for him
he
not
might
to
be
go.
an A-ball for a month or two and then move him up, but he's not starting in Double-A.
You give him 2 starts in Single A, and then you bring him up. If that's the plan,
Faedo got half a season, and he was
Exactly.
their number 1 pick.
well, I get it.
I just don't.
I get it. I don't think he's that good personally. I don't think I don't know that he's a big league starter.
We'll see. He
can get guys out.
He's got a changeup and he throws strikes.
comes back.
A lot of that curveball is hanging curveball stuff.
And he,
You know, we'll see.
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
It'll be
on
interesting.
track.
Here's the Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
Okay. And here's what I want to ask you about the Red Sox. They had a great team coming back. You know, many of us, especially us right here in the middle of YouTube,
only you made
had
me
the
Red
Red
Sox
Sox,
fan.
not the Yankees.
Yeah, I got the Yankees.
We both had the Yankees.
Yep.
I had the Red Sox. And did you think J.D. Martinez was that big of a
No.
off-season pickup?
No. I thought he was good, but I didn't think he was that good. No, he's tearing it up.
The game we saw, the game when we went on vacation last year, and he hit 2 home runs against the Cardinals, and he was on a roll. And if you remember, Goldschmidt was the MVP talk and everything.
Right.
And I came back and told you guys he's not even the best hitter on his team.
Right.
I mean, Martinez hit 2 bombs, you know, and then let's go to the other side of it. They lose him. How are the Diamondbacks still doing what they're doing?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's just kind of a weak Dodger team, I think. I don't know why they're so weak. They're just not playing. I mean, they're just not playing well.
Well, it's
You've
been
had
Arizona
they-
and Colorado.
They've been playing well. Dodgers playing well lately though, because they had the best record in the last month in the National League. So they have been playing well, but
They moved up
overall-
to second in the
Yeah,
tie.
they're second.
Only 3.5 games back.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, they're going to make a move. They're going to. The Dodgers will get. I would not be surprised to see Machado in a Dodger uniform. Their talk is St. Louis possibly.
Is he the biggest?
He's the big.
Is he
I
the
think
biggest
he's the
apple
big
out there?
Well, bat wise, but
bat-wise.
I think Syndergaard and Degrom. The Mets are going to have a fire sale.
Do teams win, Eddie? Do teams come and surprise and win because of pitching August trades or hitting August trades?
Traditionally, it's been pitching.
You get that one pitcher.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
is Machado?
I think that.
guys
Put it
that
this way.
Dodgers-
Put it this way.
Is that the guys the Dodgers need? Tallahassee.
That's what I'm telling you. If Machado hits a home run every game, he's up.
Right.
How many games does he win you?
If it's a game, every game he hits one home run.
If it's a home run every game in September, how many games does he win you? By himself.
10.
How many games does that one run make the
10.
difference?
I would say
10?
10, maybe. Yeah.
10 games, 1 run difference.
With the Dodgers pitching, I think it does.
10 games, 1 run difference. No.
Yes.
All solo shots. Huh?
All solo shots.
Oh, you didn't say that.
All solo shots. Nobody on base.
No, I don't know how many games. It wouldn't be 10 then. It would
I mean,
be-
right now, the Rays have lost 20 games this year, 21 run games.
How
They
big
lead
a-
the majors in losses in 1 run games. All right, so if he hits 1 game every time, that's on, in the worst case 20.
How many
in 4
games did
months.
Verlander win the Astros last year?
I don't know, 5 or 6.
Yeah. I mean, no, I understand what you're saying, but I think that you're going to see Cole Hamels get moved. I think you're going to see Syndergaard and DeGrom get moved.
Wow.
So I do. I think the Mets are going to have a fire sale. Who's
Peter
pitching for-
Alonso.
Peter Alonso
Peter
is
Alonso,
gonna
Tim
pitch.
Tebow.
Tebow's going to come up pitch,
He's got an
left-hander.
arm.
Well, you and I got an arm too.
Yeah, I
but
know.
that's
I
not
mean,
enough.
it ain't working.
Oh no, you got me pitching against Arkansas in the College World Series.
Yeah, baby,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah, well,
I
we
mean,
have to
so
go,
I might
we have
as
to go
well
to
go
single A
pitch for the
first. I got to go
Mets.
single A first.
No, you
No,
could pitch
double
against
A.
the,
You can
a double A,
be
okay.
perfect.
you could
Start
pitch
double A.
against the Mets and win,
Oh.
but you couldn't pitch for the Mets and win.
I think Machado is the biggest bat that's out there. I think there's 4 or 5 teams. The Cubs are interested. Philadelphia is interested. Milwaukee now supposedly is involved. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next month.
Okay,
I'd take the
last
picture.
topic, and this one's interesting. And Bob and I actually talked a little bit about it this weekend. Best ERA in baseball since mid-May for the last month and a half belongs to,
I have no idea.
you'll guess forever,
I have
the
no idea.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Oh, for the team?
Yeah,
Team
yeah, for
ERA.
team.
Well, that makes sense why they've lost a record 21 run
21
games.
games,
They
yeah.
just can't hit.
Okay,
And they're gonna do
why
something.
are they pitching? And they swept the Yankees last weekend.
Shut them out one time.
Actually, the Yankees got shut out again last time by the Phillies. The Rays have the only DH shutout, but the Yankees have been shut out twice by National League
National League,
teams
yeah.
with when their pitcher hits. But so 3 shutouts, but one was the Rays last weekend. The Rays pulled the sweep on the Yankees, and that's probably why this is now the other way
Flip-flops, yep,
around.
yep.
Okay. Have you watched any Rays, or have you watched what they've been doing?
No.
Okay,
Not a bit.
They lost Archer. They're losing.
He's hurt. He's on the DL.
They lose their starters. So he's trying to figure out, how can I do this with no starters? Okay?
It's magic.
Well, what I can do, since I only have 2 starters, I'll start one every other day. Go with a 2-man rotation.
He's got a 2-man rotation going?
Most teams have closers. He has a closer. He also has a starter. Same guy started 3 of the 4 games against the Yankees. He goes through the lineup one time, 2 innings. He's the starter. That's his job. He is a starter. Then they have their starting relievers. And this guy comes in and pitches like the 3rd to the 5th or
right.
6th and throws
Oh
3
my
innings.
gosh.
Yeah.
And then they have their closing reliever. And then they have their closer. And they go from the starter to the starting reliever. And the starting reliever, actually, they had the same starter get 2 of the wins. The guy that got the win on Friday got the win on... Because the starter obviously can't get
man.
the win because he's not going
He's only
5.
pitching 2
So the starting reliever is basically... I could see the dude pitching 3 of the 4 games and getting 3 wins in a 4-game series.
Yeah.
But that's basically, and it reminds me of travel ball and whatever. Hey, you're throwing 2 innings on Thursday. You're going to throw 3 innings on Saturday, and you're throwing 2 innings on Monday because we just, get you some work and everything like that. And they do it with the relievers, but now the Rays are actually doing it with the starters. Google it when you want. It's really fascinating how he's doing it.
Well, it makes, he's been around Tampa area, maybe USF softball coaches rubbed off on him because
That's what they
that's
do.
what they do. They don't let you go through the lineup but once. You never go through the lineup twice.
But can you,
know
can
what?
you be, what position you be? Oh, I'm a starting reliever.
Hey, but here's the thing, all right?
Baseball
As
card.
crazy as that may seem, and as unconventional as that is, right? It is unconventional.
Completely.
What is the one thing that everybody says designates the difference between a starter and a long reliever? The ability to get somebody out a second time.
Right.
Right?
Good point.
But if you don't face them a second time,
Then there's no
then
need.
there's no need for that. So you just have a bunch
So
of
you have your
relievers
starter. So you could literally have 2 guys be your starters.
and never finish.
One guy start, the next guy start. Then you go back to one, then you go, and that's literally what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it makes sense if your pitching staff you don't have a starting pitcher that can go 5 and 6 innings and go through the lineup 2 or 3 times, or if you can get somebody to get through it once.
Well, that guy's the guy that's going from the 3rd to the 5th or 6th is your starter that has to go 2 times through the lineup.
That doesn't make sense. That part doesn't make sense. I mean,
What, your starting reliever?
yeah, it would seem to me that it's Johnny Holstaff every day. And you're only throwing the most you're throwing is a couple innings a day, so you can throw every other day.
But then Uvalde, the other day, he threw a monkey wrench. They actually started him,
And
and
he's throwing a shutout.
and he
no-hitter.
was throwing a no-hitter through
No-hitter.
6.
Can't take him out.
Couldn't take him out.
Unless
so
you're Miami.
He finally gives. Funny thing is, in the 6th, he goes
Mattingly
5
would
and
argue.
2/3, gives up a hit, gets his next out.
Done.
He was
See
done.
it. Mattingly would have
Well,
pulled.
you got to use him in 2 days. You don't
Mattingly
wanna-
would have pulled him after 4. He didn't no hitter throwing a perfect game.
Real quick, is the AL? Is it over in the AL? We got our playoff team set. Do you think?
Yes, it's over.
It's over.
I
It's
asked
over.
that. I'm glad you
It's been
asked that
over.
because I
It's
asked.
been
You told
over
me
for
that
months.
2 weeks ago.
It's been over for a month.
over.
It's over. They're not
So
catching.
you got 2 teams from the West and 2 teams from the East.
Yep, and the Central winner.
Central is Cleveland.
And
That's
Seattle,
it.
and Seattle had their little bump in the road, but they seem to be a little back on track, right? Aren't they?
7-up. They're 7-up in
Where's
the. They're
Seattle's
7-up
right
in the
there.
wild card.
Seattle's right there.
So they're 5-5, yeah. But
Yeah.
they had their little hiccup there.
I mean, yeah,
frustrating.
they're going to go up and down, but I don't think anybody's going to catch them. I think they're there. So, there you go.
Card show in Jacksonville,
In Mandarin,
July
July 7th.
in Mandarin at the Ramada Inn, 9 o'clock. Jacksonville Sports Cards puts it on. Come see us. We'll be
Not in
there.
Macintosh.
Not Macintosh, no.
Mandarin.
Mandarin.
It's
So we got
Apples,
orange
not
is not
apples to
apple.
oranges.
Orange is not
Yeah,
apple.
orange is apples.
Hey, you guys have a great week.
Hey,
we'll see
play
you.
ball.
It's getting close to the All-Star break, by the
There
way.
you go.